I saw a documentary called Satoshi Kon, The Illusionist, directed by Pascal-Alex Vincent, and it's exactly what the title sounds like. It is a documentary about the greatest filmmaker of all time, Satoshi Kon. For those unfamiliar with his work, he was director of anime, and he did Perfect Blue, Millennium Actress, Tokyo Godfathers, and Paprika, and the show Paranoia Agent. And every single one of those things is spectacular and amazing, with the Millennium Actress being my absolute favorite animated film of all time, and my second favorite movie, just period, live action or animated of all time. And the movie interviews a whole bunch of colleagues and other filmmakers, people inspired by him, goes into what inspired him. And it's just a wonderful tribute to a man who died way, way too young, just as he was getting his due in the world of film.
This is another Japanese director, isn't it? I think that there's like.
Yeah, Satoshi Kon is Japanese. The movie itself was directed by, I believe, Pascal-Alex Vincent is French.
Yeah,
I could be mistaken on that, but I believe he is.
Could be Quebecois. From Quebec.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would have never guessed that.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. I mean, I think you gave it a 10.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a perfect movie. So what is it about his story or the film itself? Is it the stories and his story, or is it the creative process? What is it that really stood out to you to get that 10?
The documentary, Satoshi Kon, The Illusionist, is edited like one of Kon's films. That's what stood out to me. The fact that they were able to, I don't know if mimic's the right word, because that sounds insincere, but replicate that to such a degree in order to tell this man's life story and take a very long look at his legacy and his work. And it's not just a highlight reel. It looks at the problems he had trying to get this made. Maybe he had issues here or there or whatever, because it is a warts and all kind of a look at it, his life and his work. But it's edited like one, so it's everything just kind of flows together, and it feels almost dreamlike at times. Mm-hmm. And that's really interesting because the style of the movie, in terms of how it's presented, is essentially just a talking heads utilizing archival footage and photos from when Kon was alive. His story is interesting enough where that extra style that the filmmaker brings really just shows how much he loves and cares and respects about Kon's work, as opposed to it being feeling like just a ripoff or anything like that.
So the problems he had making films, is it financing by nature, or is it technological? Some
of it is like funding, trying to get funding for certain projects just never really took off the way he was hoping. We should point out he also was a writer. He illustrated and wrote several manga and stuff as well. And he was doing that kind of in between movies, but he really was trying to get certain passion projects off the ground, and funding just kept falling through for some reason. So it's things like that, really more on like the back end side, if that makes sense.
The common problem all filmmakers have.
Yeah.
I was just gonna ask you, was there any of the talking heads? Was there anybody particularly impressive in there?
Oh yes, they got a lot of impressive people. Some of them, if you're not as familiar with pop culture in Japan, might not mean that much to you. But they do have Darren Aronofsky is heavily featured throughout the film. He and Kon became good friends. Marc Caro, is that his last name? Marc Caro, the co-director of several really visually intense films, like City of Lost Children, for example. Heavily featured throughout. Some voice actors like Megumi Hayashibara. I don't speak Japanese, don't hate me. Is in it. The director of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is interviewed. And of course, the not the Godfather of anime, because Tezuka's been dead for a while, but the Godfather of modern adult-oriented manga and anime, Miyamori Oshii, is throughout the film as well.
Cool.
Yeah, and Jerry Lewis, I think. Okay.
Yes, it was a surprise screening of the day the clown cried.
And, he was. Yeah, they loved him in Japan. All right.